In this tutorial, I want to show you how to add a zoom on hover on any of the images in Elementor, just like this over right here. And you will be able to selectively add those image hover effects on only the selected images that you want. The beauty is you won't need any extra plugin and we'll only be using Elementor Pro. We will also play with the transition and the transform effect on hover. Alright, so if this is something that you're interested in, let's get started. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Hamza. We are going to start off by adding a zoom in effect on these two images. So back into our Elementor website, I already have my layout over here with my two images. So in this section, I have two columns, and inside this column over here, I have two images, the first one and the second one. So I'll select the first image and I'm going to come over here to the advanced option and I'll come down to the custom CSS option. And we are going to be adding a custom CSS to enable us add a zoom in effect on this image. The custom CSS feature is available in Elementor Pro. And if you consider getting Elementor Pro, kindly use my affiliate link right down in the description of this video. You won't be charged an extra buck, but I will receive a commission on a purchase that you make. Alright, so I'm going to add this CSS snippet. And you see it's reading selector image. This is the class we are giving to this image, and the cursor is going to be a zoom in and the transition will be 0.5 seconds. For the same class, this effect of the zoom in is going to only happen on hover, and the transform will be on a scale of 1.2. So let me get this class. I'll copy, come to advanced, and I'm going to add that class over here. Make sure that you don't add the period or the dot before the class inside the CSS classes. Alright, so now when we go and hover over our image, boom, the zoom effect is now applied. Now let's just apply the same zoom effect on the next image. Select the image under advanced, come to custom CSS. I'll add my custom CSS. Back into the advanced option, I'm going to add a CSS class image. Boom. Now we have the first image on hover, second image on hover. So let me update. Once our preview loads up, on hover our image zooms in, on hover the next one zoom in. Alright, now let's head over to the next section. We are going to select the images where we want to add our zoom in effect. In this case, we will add a zoom in effect on this image as well, and the last image. So we are going to select the image. In this case, a spacer widget was used to display a background image. You see under advanced, background, that's where the image is. So we are simply going to be applying our custom CSS to the spacer widget that is holding the image. So still under advanced, we're going to just come down here to custom CSS and we'll paste our custom CSS. We are simply going to be using the same class, so you don't have to change that. I'll come back here to advanced and I'll add my CSS class. Now when I hover over the image, beautiful. Same will do for this other image. Under advanced, custom CSS, I'll add my custom CSS. I'll add my CSS class, which is image without the period. Now you see we have this image on hover. This doesn't have a hover effect and this has a hover effect. Now we can do the same and apply to the last image. I'll start with a class, come to custom CSS, add my CSS, and boom, there it works out. Now let's go and add a zoom in effect on our second last section, which is this over here. So I'm going to select my image widget and I'm going to come to advanced, and under custom CSS, I'm going to add my CSS code. So for this image, we used a scale of 1.1 in the height and 1.1 in the width. So if we select 1.5 and 1.5, it's going to increase the scale of the zoom in, but proportionally. Now if I change this to, for example, 2.5, that is for the height, it's going to come out way taller. And you would want something to be proportional. Let me just take it back to 1.1. So we have something like that. Now we'll look into the very last zoom in effect on hover. You see the transition over here is not as smooth as the other zoom in effects. Like for example, this is more smooth, but the transition here is a little different. So to achieve something like this, we are going to come back here into our editor. And inside our editor, just like you see, we don't have any zoom in effect currently. So I'll select the first image. I'll come to advanced and custom CSS. I'll add my custom CSS. And for this custom CSS, we are simply changing one thing, and that is the transition. So before it was 0.5. Let me first add the class over here, image-zoom. Now when I hover over this image, you see it still has the same transition time like the previous effects, but if I change this to a 1, that changes everything. So the transition is a little faster. Let's do the same for all the other images. Select the other image widget. I'll add the CSS class. See how that now looks like. We do the same for the last image. Advanced, image-zoom. Boom, boom, and boom. We update this and now we go to the preview. All right, as one, we added one to this image. No zoom in effect. Another zoom in effect on this one and one on this one. These don't have any zoom effect. We added one on this image and we added as well on these 3 images. Anyway, that's how you can easily add zoom in effects on hover on your images in Elementor. In case you like the tutorial, don't forget to give it a like, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. Have a good time and see you in the next one.